Welcome back to Whisky Whims with me, Stuart. I know you've all been anticipating this video, but yeah, it's going to be the Whisky of the Year for 2024. How I've done it in the past is I've always chosen one whisky, and I was thinking about doing it differently, choosing kind of like a premium whisky and maybe a not so premium whisky, but I think just to keep it simple, I am just going to choose what I feel has been my whisky of the year. There is a kind of toss up between another one, but like I said, due to the price, and last year I had the similar conundrum because I had the Edredour Barolo. I was going to choose that, but that was quite pricey as well. So I'd rather choose something that's not as pricey, but yeah, we'll get down to it anyway and we'll discuss it. So I'm going to go through a couple of honourable mentions before we get on to my actual whisky of the year, and I might actually just pour some of that whisky of the year. I should probably have poured it before the video went live, before I started recording. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the magic of editing and cut this, and all of a sudden my glass will be full. And by full I obviously mean poured, because I'm not going to pour a full glass of whiskey. So yeah, I've got the whiskey in the glass. If you can tell what that whiskey is by the colour of it, by the look of it, then you're a better person than I. But yeah, this is, yeah, we'll get just started. We'll get down to my kind of honourable mentions. So the first one is this Ardnahoe 5-year-old. This really got me back into peat this year, or got me back into exploring a bit more peat. I just realised the sun's coming out and it's a low winter sun, so I don't know how that's going to be affecting the light. But yeah, this kind of got me back into peat, and I started after I had this, I started drinking more peat and enjoying more things with peat in it, because yeah, you get kind of peat fatigue. It definitely is a thing, and I believe I made myself kind of sick of peat at one point. I had a lot of Stocia, I was having a lot of Kilkerran, and yeah, I just found in Longrow as well, and then I just found I wasn't really enjoying it. So I took a little bit of break, started exploring more sherry, and then just went back to bourbon, just plain bourbon, and was loving life. But then I bought this bottle. It's £70, and I think this has been one of the best inaugural releases in recent years, just purely because of the price point and the quality. And I think it's quite difficult for, I mean, it's difficult for a new distillery in general, but for an Islay distillery, Islay is such an established region, and people have a lot of sentiment with that region and a lot of favourites already. I know Highland obviously is everywhere's an established region, but there's something about Islay that's just a little bit more, I was going to say cult-like, but it is sort of like a cult. Like, you'll get the Ardbeg fanatics, the Lefroy, Lagavulin, whatever. So yeah, it's a little bit hard to establish yourself in such a prominent region, but I think this Ardnahoe whisky's hit the nail on the head. And like I said, for the £70 you can't argue. So that's definitely one an honourable mention, and it could have been up there, but it's a good whisky, but it's not been like my whisky of the year. Another honourable mention is this Ardnamurchan from Good Spirits, unpeated, and it uses Golden Promise barley. I kind of raved about this, and also it kind of threw me off a little bit, threw me off my guard, because I'm not the biggest Ardnamurchan fan in general. But yeah, a fantastic whisky, and I think this was maybe £89, £90, which is creeping up a little bit, £70 and then £80, £90. But yeah, it's still fantastic whisky and definitely deserves an honourable mention for me. Another honourable mention, out with a bottle. I mean, I have a bottle upstairs, it's only a 20cl, but the Kilkerran warehouse tasting bottle that I probably went on about after my trip to Campbelltown. It was the second cask, I think it was 18-year-old bourbon, refill bourbon, and yeah, I loved that. I thought that was a great jam, as well as the Kilkerran 20th anniversary for the open day, I believe it was. I can't remember what it's finished in. I want to say it is like, it's not just bourbon, it's something else, but it was like a single cask. And it too was a 20cl bottle. That was fantastic. I remember trying it at if I've got a picture of it, I'll put it up. I remember trying that at Springbank Washback Bar, and god, it was just fantastic. So that really gets an honourable mention, and really those two could have been probably my choices if they were full bottles, and if I actually had opened them this year and had them. I didn't get a bottle of the 20th anniversary, but I do have a bottle, like I said, of the warehouse tasting, but I haven't opened it yet, so I wanted to go for a whisky that I've opened. My next honourable mention, and probably the whiskey of the year for me, really. I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but I've not had enough of it to really fully appreciate it and to say that it is whiskey of the year. But what I've had is just blown my socks off, and it's also sentiment as well. I opened this during a live stream, the 1,000 subscriber celebration, if you like. It's this Clynleash 1995, so distilled in the same year that I was born. It's 22-year-old. I toured Edgedour Distillery and then went into the shop, seen this sitting there at 1995 and decided, yeah, I'm gonna take my chances on that. £195, which is expensive. However, I reckon it would have been a lot more expensive, or it would be a lot more expensive nowadays. I've not actually seen it on the auction. I know that it's got a good score on Whisky Base. That wasn't my original reason for purchasing it. I just went in, seen 1995, like a Clynleash, and seen this and thought, yeah, I'm going to spend that and buy it. But yeah, this could easily, it's worldly. Is that the right word? It's just something else. It's quality. It's without tarnishing. It's premium. It's like what expensive whiskey should be, and £195 for a 22-year-old. Yeah, that is expensive. But I don't feel bad now that I've opened it. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, 2018 this has been bottled, so I've had it for over 6 years, or just about 6 years. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. But this is what expensive whiskey should be. This is what that one, not once in a lifetime maybe, but kind of once in a blue moon purchase should be and should give to you. There's certain bottles that you buy that are maybe £200 and you open it and you think, yeah, it's good whiskey, but it's not as good as you thought it would be. You thought it was going to be a little bit more. This is that. That's the only way really to describe it. So this is my technically whiskey of the year, but I didn't feel like I could give it whiskey of the year just because of the price and because I haven't had enough of it. I've only had 2-3 drams maybe, and I've given 1 dram away so far to Bart. So yeah, I couldn't call it. What I have chosen, and this is why it was a bit contradictory, is because it's not as good as this, but it's still fantastic in its own right. And it's the Springbank Palo Cortado 10-year-old. So what was this? This was maybe £90 a bottle when it came out, and I opened it this year. I've had a fair done out of it, maybe not as much as normal. I have had a bit of a slow intake of whiskey recently. I've not been drinking as much. I've been finding myself drinking a lot more Belgian beer and strong beer, and I've just been enjoying that a little bit more. But that's not to say I'm not drinking whiskey. I still am drinking whiskey. But yeah, this has got my whiskey of the year. Yeah, it's a little hard to. It's not as obtainable as other whiskies. And it might have been a bit more difficult to get for some people, but I just love it. I think it embodies Springbank. Yeah, it's sherried, but I don't think the Palo Cortado dominates the Springbank character. Rather, it complements it. It's just a dirty, funky, sweet, sticky, lovely. It's just everything you want from Springbank and sherried Springbank, without it being overpowering. Really an absolute fantastic match, a match made in heaven. I would say it's fantastic, and that's why it's got my whiskey of the year, because of the price, and yeah, just the kind of uniqueness of it, how good it is. So that's my whiskey of the year. I'm going to take another sip. I've actually been sipping this as I've cut some of the thingies, but. Didn't take big enough a sip. Not that either. Oh, and the peat. Everything is just well balanced, I feel. I feel like that's a really easy cop out. I have reviewed this, to be fair. I've reviewed the other two as well, the Ardna Merkin and the Ardna Ho. I've not reviewed the Clynleash yet. That will come in the new year. But it's just well balanced. I think it's well put together. The guy, whoever decided this, if it was a team effort or anything, I think it's just, yeah, it works. It completely works. And that's all I've got to say. So, Jesus, I think this is something's caught in my throat, maybe the whiskey. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. I won't be back until the new year, so this will be my last video until then. But yeah, I appreciate your support throughout the year. Hope you have a good Christmas, a good New Year, and all that good things. All those good things and all those words. More words and words just to pack the video out. I don't know how long this has been anyway. But yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Stuart. This has been Whiskey Whims. I'll see you later.